In a very entertaining battle between Max Verstappen and title rival Sergio Perez, we saw Verstappen winning the Miami GP even with the disadvantage of starting on P9. The biggest factor was how both drivers managed the tires with the strategy that was given to them. In this video, we'll have a deep dive into what happened that race. I'm Wimbo, make sure to leave a like. It had rained between quali and the race, and the track was green again. The decision to have Checo start on mediums and Max on the hards were both logical and defensible. Checo started on pole with Alonso beside him. He needed all the traction he could get. Almost all the drivers in the top 10 started on mediums, so this choice made sense. Max on P9 started on hards, which also makes sense. He had to be careful not to get damaged and would always choose to lose a place instead of damage. He didn't need the starting performance of a medium. The green track, with full tanks, the cars slide a bit more than on a track that's rubbered in under the same conditions. This is something the hard tire can handle better than the medium. Checo complained pretty quickly about graining. This happens with a tire that is too cold, where the tread gets chipped. This was also caused by the start and the first 2 laps of pushing to drive Alonso out of his DRS range. He had to drive too fast under pressure from Alonso and couldn't give the tires the opportunity to warm up properly. Max was in a completely different situation on the hards. He was surrounded by cars slower than his. He was able to quietly warm up his tires, only starting to move up places on lap 4, at about 1 position per lap, and that was pretty fast. By lap 20, Max was with Checo, and the Mexican pitted for his stint on the hards. The track had totally changed. There was now rubber on it, which gave it much more grip. This protected Max's old hards from excessive wear while allowing him to average the same lap times as Sergio Perez. Both drove in free air. Only 10 to 15 laps before the finish, Max pitted. Not because it was necessary for the tires, but because it was mandatory. Due to a slow stop by Red Bull standards, he ended up behind Checo. On the track that had rubbered in properly now, Verstappen needed a short lap to get his tires up to temperature. After that, it was quick, and Max ran away by a full second on the first lap and then just under half a second per lap. Perez had no life left in his old hards and therefore had no defense against him. Both were very careful when Max overtook Perez for the win, making it as 38th for Red Bull, which is the same number as Sebastian Vettel has for Red Bull. So what do you think? Is Max Verstappen a better tire whisperer than Sergio Perez? Were you impressed by what Verstappen showed that race? Let me know in the comments. Max Verstappen mentioned in interviews after the race in Baku that he was trying different balance setups during the race, and he learned something which will help him the rest of the season. It would help me a great deal if you subscribe. Take care now, doei doei.